Hi and welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about the early history of what is now Great Britain. This is not intended to be an in-depth university level lecture. It is more of a general overview to help those of you studying for the Life in the UK test. It is not intended to be a replacement for the handbook that you have for the Life in the UK test. It's more of an addition to that, in case having someone telling you about it is easier than reading it. You should still refer to the handbook for your test. This is the 10th in a series of short videos covering different times in British history. If you missed the others, you may wish to watch those first, starting with the Stone Age. But if you're ready, let's find out about the events of the 1400s. First of all, let's take a look at some of the difficult words you are going to hear. If you are entitled to something, it means you have a right to it. To dominate means to have control over something or to be the biggest issue. If you are dominated by something, it means it has power over you or you are defined by it. To be immortalized means to remain famous even after your death. To inherit something means to receive something automatically when a relative dies. To disinherit means to stop somebody receiving your money and possessions when you die. Significant means really important. Have a go now at matching the words to the definitions. And here come the answers. Listen to this account of the 1400s and try to answer the questions. We left the 1300s when Henry IV had taken the throne. Because he wasn't really entitled to the throne and had probably murdered his cousin, although he denied this, he was not a popular king, and his reign was filled with rebellions and unrest. His reign lasted only 14 years, and he was succeeded by his son. You guessed it, Henry V. Henry V also had a very short reign, only 9 years. His reign was dominated by battles with France, the most famous of which is Agincourt, where in October 1415, his army of only 8,000 men defeated the French army of 50,000. This victory made him a hero to his own people and a legend to future generations, immortalised by William Shakespeare. Henry V married the daughter of the French King Charles VI, and he would have become King of France on the death of Charles, who had been forced to disinherit his own son. Unfortunately, Henry died first. On his death, his son, yet another Henry, became king. 1 month later, Henry VI also inherited the French throne on the death of his grandfather, Charles VI. Henry VI had little interest in war, or even in France, and so the disinherited son of Charles VI was able to reconquer the French territories. The English were not impressed with their king, and in 1455, civil war broke out. The next part of history came to be known later as the Wars of the Roses, and it's quite complicated, so we're going to leave the monarchy here for a moment. There will be a video dedicated to the Wars of the Roses coming soon, but for now let's look at what else was happening in the 1400s. Well, in 1476, William Caxton brought the printing press to England, and between then and his death he printed over 100 books. One of the first ones he printed was the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. Chaucer wrote these tales between 1387 and 1400, and they are significant because they are written in English rather than in French, which was the language brought over by the Normans. And here come the answers to the questions. As always, let's just summarise the main points. Henry IV ruled for only 14 years. Henry V ruled for only 9 years. Henry V won a famous victory at Agincourt in 1415. Henry V died before he could become King of France. Henry VI lost all of the territory in France. Civil war broke out in 1455. This period is known as the Wars of the Roses. William Caxton introduced the printing press in 1476. The Canterbury Tales by Chaucer was one of the first books to be printed. Chaucer was important because he wrote in English. I hope you found that useful. You may wish to listen again, but if you feel confident, look out for the next video where we'll talk about the Wars of the Roses. I look forward to welcoming you back very soon.